Hello Twin Flames, welcome to my channel. Whether you're new or you're coming back, thank you for joining me today, and let's get started with a daily check-in. I will start with an oracle card as always, and today I've got the Enchanted Map Oracle. So let's see what we have for Divine Feminines watching. I have movement number 28, so things can be moving. It can be you moving into a new direction with your focus and priorities. It can also mean actual physical movement. Maybe you're relocating, maybe you're traveling, or it's a movement in your life just in general. Like, this is like unknown horizons. That's immediately what I see with this interesting artwork, right? And it's taking you to unusual places. Like, it's not you just taking a train or a plane ride. It's like you're taking a balloon ride somewhere, or it's like a portal that you just step through it and you're in a completely different place in your life. But it's important also, another side of it, it's important to keep movement going, like not to keep the energy stale, but to keep it moving. And for a lot of people, that like actual physical movement would be beneficial. Dancing, singing, workouts, maybe even just walks, daily walks, something like that. Keep moving your body. Make sure that movement is somehow in your life. You can't be just trying something new, like a new hobby or something that will create that feeling of newness in energy. For masculines, we have number 39, protect and treasure. So masculine are figuring out what their values are and what is or who is the most valuable part of their life, right? Or gives the most sense of value and what they want to treasure, right? And there is a lot of reconsideration here. It's like reconsideration of friendships, for example, or of daily routines. Like, I used to spend like considerable time, I don't know, in social media, for example, and now maybe just accidentally you didn't do it for a couple of days, and now you understand that that actually feels good, and it maybe was even better because you're not stressed out because of all the news you saw, or you didn't feel jealousy because of some of the other successes that people have, or something like that. Like, does it really add to my day, to my life? If not, then why am I doing it? Or maybe it's fine to check my, I don't know, Facebook account every couple of days just in case, and to stay in touch with people, but I don't really need to spend 2 hours every day just scrolling through and reacting to people's updates. Okay, let's get into the actual read. Let me get the tarot cards out. This is the Spellcaster Tarot today that we have. We're still experiencing the full moon in Virgo energy, by the way. So to me, both of these cards are connected with that kind of cleansing of energy, and also thinking about the movement and the health. It's kind of like that health, but on many different levels. Two of Swords, bottom of the deck here. This is like a thought of not being able to move. That's very interesting because it's just so movement and kind of necessity to move. But this is like, I don't think I can do anything right now with the information I have. It's that kind of energy. Very interesting. So, Four of Cups. Yeah, this is like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to make use of that opportunity. Or I don't think I can do anything now. Like, I've missed my chance, something like that, right? Or like, yeah, this looks good, but I don't think I can make it work, right? Like, this new job opportunity seems so exciting, but with everything going on in my life, I don't think I can make it work right now. Or they want me to move to a different place in order to actually work because they require me to be on site a couple of times a week. I don't think I can pull it off, right? Like, it's that kind of doubt in the energy right now. Feminines, you have Four of Cups clarified by the Tower. Yeah, so this is another Four of Cups. I was just talking about this energy. It's a little bit different focus here because it's a different deck, different meaning. To me, this is more of a meditation and like trying to find a solution. But again, it's like this guy is like really trying, right? Like, oh my God, I have to find a solution to the problem, right? Like, but it's still kind of like linear and focused around the same concept, right? Or like seeing things from one perspective. And the tower strikes, and it's like, oh, you were looking in a completely wrong place. Or the maybe at least if you continue doing the meditation, the prayer practice, communicating with your guides, asking for support, then they will show you. And it may not look nice, it may not be pretty, but they will show you what's really going on and what the resolution is, or what is the step that will be of the highest good to everyone, right? Because that's the important part that we don't always either think about or we don't always know because we may be missing something. For masculines, we have Eight of Cups clarified by the Hierophant. Yeah, so Hierophant is another card of values. So to me, it's a continuation of this story with protecting treasure, right? This is understanding what is and I was just talking about reevaluating and thinking maybe something needs to be left behind. That's exactly the Eight of Cups energy. I mean, you can make it up. All the cards are turned face down. But that's essentially what I was talking about. This is deciding what makes sense for me to keep and to spend my energy on and what doesn't, right? Like, what's that value? What takes me to the next level in my personal growth, in my success, and in my happiness? And like, where do I see potential that it's gonna help me move forward and do better, be better? Or if there is anything where I don't really see like it's going anywhere, or maybe it's even making me feel worse. And so um, why should I be invested in it? Additional question. The Empress clarified by Page of Swords. Ooh, this is a school of manifestation and creativity, right? So how do I learn to bring more creativity into my life and to anchor this power of creating my own life? Wow. For feminines, the Judgment and Queen of Cups. Yeah, for the feminines, obviously it's this ascension process overall, right? Like working on self, removing the onion layers, and being more in touch with who you really are. It's like there's no steps to like externally learn or learn from someone. Even if you have a mentor or a guru, it's not something you can learn from them necessarily, because each of us have our unique way for self-expression, for creativity, for artistic pursuits. We all have different gifts. If anything, if we're talking about anything external, you can explore, and there are different ways of how to explore your own gifts. Maybe I'll do an article about that in my blog. Sorry guys. um, Maybe taking a test, or just exploring of what draws your interest, or what was I gonna say? Remembering your childhood memories. That's another good one. What were you drawn to naturally, especially if you never really pursued it, or maybe somebody talked you out of it pretty quickly. That's definitely something to look into right now. For masculines, we have the Hermit clarified by Sir. Look at all these major arcanas. This is amazing. Uh, yeah, different energies, Leo and Virgo, but I like how they complement each other, because Hermit is more about internal healing, strength, and knowing self, right? It's like that concept of somebody walking up the mountain and spending time on their own to contemplate the meaning of life, their purpose, and all that, right? Like learning about yourself in that way. But also is the strength to show up in that energy, to be something that people may not necessarily be comfortable with, may not be ready for. either because of your previous history or just because of their general stereotypes, preferences, cultural background, etc., etc., right? Like essentially it's learning about who you are, what makes you tick, and then showing up in that energy in the physical without covering it up, without thinking, oh, I'm just going to do it on the down low, but everybody else will have the story, this facade of me being XYZ, doing this kind of career, being in that relationship, etc. Right? Like having the internal and external to match, as within, so without. That's gonna get us into this Empress mode. Messages from the feminines. We have the King of to the masculines. The King of Cups clarified by death. Oof. Feminines are saying that they understand that masculines have already done a lot of work with regards to emotional intelligence and maintaining healthy communication. But they do know that there are certain things that are not as easy to master just because you want to, just because you decided you have an issue. It's not that simple. And they understand that it takes more time and it takes the divine collaboration to help remove certain karmic limitations and certain closed off energy, right? Because of previous heartbreaks and upbringing and things like that, right? So it's probably going to take more time and it's going to take a lot of like, trials and tribulations because the death energy is very powerful, but it's essentially about a complete makeover, right? So it's not something that is going to be sweet and pleasant, most likely, even if it's for your good, and it always is, but there's a good chance that there will be growing pains, right? That once that transformation is done, that it's almost like that journey towards King of Cups will need to be done from scratch now with the new information. No, like it's when you're at school and you've been taught in the middle school that you can't take a square root out of a negative number, right? And this is like a mantra that you repeat to yourself, and it's such a strong rule, and like a teacher makes a big point out of it, and that's the truth you live with. And then in high school you learn about complex numbers and you're like, oh wow, apparently there is a big asterisk to that rule that I learned before, right? And like it's like your worldview changes, right? Like it was such an important rule, it was everything. And now we are specifically looking at how do we do that? How do we take square root of negative numbers, right? Like, and you're like revisiting other topics and other problems that you were trying to solve from that knowledge, right? And this is like that. That's what I'm getting here. So feminine is being patient, just in case masculine's watching. They understand that there's pressure, but they want to be patient as well, and that's what they're exercising from their side, energetically at least, if you're in no communication. Masculines to feminines. I love this how, like this side of the message is always something romantic. I mean, I feel like generally masculines have been more romantic energy lately, just, I don't know, just generally in the collective. And so we have Two of Cups clarified by Queen of Wands. So yeah, they see the feminine as this powerful, passionate being. I'm so sorry, guys. I usually turn off the sound on my phone, but it's a bit of a crazy day today. So, yeah, they see the feminine as this passionate, sexy person pursuing their dreams, living their best life. And yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that they see it in the ideal way, like there is no trouble in the world, or they don't care. No, it's like, but they can transmute it, they can alchemize it into a lesson, into learning, into something to appreciate life for, right? Because all of our experiences are learning experiences. And that brings them energetically, which is really how this works. This brings them even closer, right? This makes them more attracted to that energy, to that sexy, beautiful, tasty energy, right? So they feel these depths, they feel this connection. They see dreams where the scenarios are like the plot is between them and it includes them and the feminine, right? They are thinking about certain plans for the future, and they catch themselves thinking of, how will that fit in with their feminine and and their life goals, right? Like all these different things. And sometimes they hear a song and they immediately think of the divine feminine, right? And they remembered certain experiences, and even if they don't, somebody will remind them. Or remember we did this and that. That was really cool. That was special. Or remember how she did this and that. And they're like, oh yeah, yeah, that was actually pretty magical, even if I dismissed it at the time, right? Like there is this magnetism, I would say, that is being felt and that's impacting the masculine reality, mostly in inspirational way, which is great. Because if you remember the last couple of readings, we said that they're overcoming their fear, and it's not resentment, but kind of suspicion towards the feminine, and whether they have an agenda, whether this is all somehow planned and manipulated, right? Like that, getting over that and accepting that this is just so special that yes, it's something that's meant to be, that's on the soul level, that's divinely guided. Whichever vocabulary they use, they understand that it's something fated, and that's why there's so much of the connection, there's so much of complementary energy, of things that are alike or that are kind of feel like perfect for each other. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. I love you all, and I'll be back with more readings very, very soon. Bye, everyone.